Hi friends and Prairie Vintage Jewelry. My name is Linda and I'm so excited to get into today's reading. We will be taking a look at the person on your mind and we will ask if they've ever loved you, if they're currently in love with you, and whether there is potential for them to be in love with you in the future. Okay, so this is most likely a romantic person on your mind because we're more asking if they're in love rather than a platonic type love. Okay, so, but we will be asking from their 3D self and like what they're aware of, and from their higher self. So we can contrast the two, but, you know, obviously some people may show one energy and be feeling something else. So we'll ask both the 3D and the 5D about this person. Okay, so a little ambitious with four options here, but I felt it was important to reach out to the collective. Now, this is energy, and energy does fluctuate. Although this is a timeless reading, please, if you are easily triggered, this might not be the video for you. Now, not all the messages will resonate 100%, so please read my disclaimer below. Sometimes messages come in quite heavy, quite pointed, and quite exaggerated to connect with you, so please don't take exactly what's coming out as the be-all end-all. Just take what resonates, okay? And I feel like I always have to say that for those of you guys who might be triggered by these readings, okay? So take a look at these four piles. Feel free to pause the video. One of these stones is going to call out to you. I will put a few seconds here of these four stones, but first pile here, or first pick, is in the timestamp down below, is this piece of Tektite, okay? Second option or pick will be this Moonstone, okay? Third pick is this Goldstone. And the fourth pick is this raw piece of Amethyst, okay? All right, so 1, 2, 3, or 4 timestamps down below. Pick your pile. We'll see you here shortly. Hello, my beautiful pile number 1. If you pick this piece of Tektite, I absolutely love this stone, then pile number 1, this is your reading. Now, before we get into your cards, there is always some significance in the pick intuitively that you're picking here with the piles. I don't know if you've noticed, but you were definitely drawn to this piece of Tektite, okay? And Tektite is not a gemstone per se. This is formed like a natural piece of glass, much like obsidian. Okay, and it's a blend of terrestrial and extraterrestrial material. Okay, so it's like this phenomena that's associated with worlds outside of our own. It can also represent Aries and Cancer. All right, now you don't have to be, but certainly that is what the stone represents here. And now I believe Tektite is third eye chakra because of all the extraterrestrial activity. And so this attracts synchronicities into life. It assists in spiritual transformation. It purifies the heart chakra. It also facilitates a connection with your spirit guides. It encourages positive emotional transformation. And it also removes energetic blocks. Okay, so just with all of that being said, I think there is a very deep 5D connection here with your individual person. Now, whether they're on connecting or resonating on a 5D level with this connection, we'll see. But if you skip the beginning, we will be asking Spirit for whether this person ever loved you, currently is in love with you, or potentially in the future could be in love with you, okay? And we'll be asking their 3D self, so what they're aware of. And we'll be asking the 5D self as well, okay? And then we'll be taking a look at some of those drivers. But it is a fairly short reading. If you are easily triggered, maybe this reading is not for you. I intend to communicate concise message from Spirit. And I will be using regular playing cards for the 3D message, which we'll be getting right away. So Spirit, clear and concise messages here for my beautiful pile number 1 regarding whether the person on their mind was ever in love with them on a 3D level, whether their person recognized this as love, address this being in love with pile number 1. Please be clear and concise in this communication and protect me and pile number 1 as we channel these messages. Pile number 1, I am so blessed. Thank you so much for subscribing if you have. And we will get into your reading. All right. So 3D, we'll be taking a look at past. If they were ever in love with you. Now this is the answer, yes or no. This is the driver, okay, meaning kind of a backup as to why this is a yes or no, or more clarity. Well, this is their 3D self. We'll be asking about the present. Is pile number 1. Sorry if I called you guys pile number 3. Did I call you guys pile number 3? Anyway, if I did, I'm sorry. Pile number 1. Is pile number 1's person on their mind currently in love with them on the 3D level? Do they recognize that they are in love with pile number 3 currently? Thank you, Spirit. All right. And for future energies here for pile number 1, if you guys love my sleeves, leave a comment. I'm not changing my comfy sweater for YouTube. No way, Jose. All right. Future energies. What do we got? Okay. Let's take a look. And then we'll be doing the 5D. Okay. More the spiritual side of this connection. Which, like I mentioned, okay, so this is a trigger warning, but this is a very highly spiritual stone, okay? So I wouldn't be surprised if we resonate more in the 5D than we're resonating here in the 3D. And this is just a snapshot in time, okay? So this is past energy. So we got the 10 of Wands. And we got the 9 of Cups. So I'm picking up here from the 3D. In the past, this person found their feelings, this connection between you and them, very heavy, very intense, overwhelming. They were overwhelmed in the 3D. They potentially never communicated to you exactly their true feelings because they were very overwhelmed in what it is that they're feeling. And I feel like a lot of them were driven by selfish motivators. So potentially they were in this connection to satisfy a bit of them that they needed, as far as having you around because you fed their energy. They enjoyed your friendship. You made them happy. But the romantic side of being in love overwhelmed this person a lot. So looking at this, I would state that this person was battling and probably never admitted to themselves how they truly felt because they didn't want to go there. So they were probably, yeah, just too overwhelmed for them to even acknowledge to themselves in the past that they were in love with you. But they definitely had feelings of satisfaction. It was more of this self-gratifying love that they felt in the connection with you. It was more self-serving. It was more about them than it was about you. Okay, now this is 3D. So now we're looking at present. So present, we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, just for anyone. And we have the Six of Swords. Okay, so presently, potentially this person is either shifted into acknowledging some of their feelings around you. They could very well, either two things, either they could be in a period of no contact, or you guys have had period of no contact, or this person has had a chance to gather their thoughts about how they feel about you. But with the Queen of Pentacles, I would say this is, you know, a mother type energy, someone who is solid and stable and loving, dependable. So they do see you as a very solid person right now, and they do see you as the queen. So I feel as though in the 3D, this person, I still don't see that they fully have acknowledged, but I do see that they've moved away from maybe completely feeling overwhelmed about how it is that they're feeling about you to more of a more ease type acceptance about who you mean to them, who you are, and potentially guys moved away from a more romantic to a more platonic type friendship, or at least they're seeing you kind of in a, yeah, like someone who they can rely on, more of a friend vibe I'm kind of getting from this present energy. Okay, and when I say present, because this again is for the collective and energy kind of shifts, you could certainly be somewhere in the transition between the past and the present, or even kind of steering into future energies. But I asked specifically in love, and I still not getting fully in love. But I do feel like your person is kind of working on, or at least moving away from mental limitations potentially that they've put around this connection. And also I feel as though they're bringing in some of their misconceptions of relationships, or how maybe what's happened in the past that's still kind of weighing on them. And it could certainly be not about you. Maybe it's something that they're learning to understand about themselves. Okay, so this is in 3D. We're going to take a look at future energies, whether pile number one's person has a potential to be in love with pile number one. Okay, so we got the Four of Swords, and we got the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm feeling strongly that this person intends in the future, so they might not be aware of this just yet, but as we said, they are moving in a positive direction. This person intends on healing themselves enough, or at least acknowledging where it was that they felt overwhelmed, and fixing any sort of areas that were kind of maybe getting in the way of them personally moving forward, in order for them to really want to ground this connection. Okay, so either take this to the first step of being in a committed relationship, or you know, leveling up wherever you guys are in this connection. So this will be their 3D intent. Now, I still don't see the love, or at least admitting the love, but I see them being action orientated. I feel like this person is probably a lot in their head, but they are also very slow going with a lot of earth energy here as well. But because we did say with the Aries and the Cancer that potentially your person is just, because Aries and Cancer, like to me, Aries is very fiery. They're very direct. They kind of go after what they want. It's a little hot-headed, whereas Cancer might be a little bit more in their feels, more emotionally deep. So I feel like this is what this person is kind of maybe even going through in such a way. But I feel it's more of a logical approach, and their intent is to want to ground something here, but I feel as though they need to heal, and I don't feel like the healing is fully just from this connection. I feel like they intend on doing maybe some shadow work on themselves, or at least acknowledging some areas where they were held back, or why it is that they're overwhelmed, or that sort of thing. Okay, so if you were to tell me, or if I were to tell you in the 3D whether they ever were in love with you, or could be, or are, I would say they could potentially in the far future, but from these cards here, I don't see someone who is in love with you in the 3D. So that's their acknowledgement. Okay, they probably don't, they're not acknowledging this, nor have they acknowledged it. But I think there's just too much of a block, or too much of a fear to peel back to really take a look at how they're feeling. Okay, so let's take a look at the 5D. Spirit, we're asking for pile number one's person in the past, if they were ever in love with pile number one in the 5D. Now I'm taken because we see a lot of positive action here in the 3D, that there's potentially a lot of 5D depth to this connection, but we'll see what Spirit has to say. Thank you, Spirit, for a clear and concise message. I feel called to split this deck. This is my first time doing a reading with this deck, so I'm super excited. in the 5D spirit, was pile number one's person ever in love with pile number one in the past? Thank you very much. Okay, so, and then the driver behind that. Okay, and then in the present, 5D, is pile number one's person in love with pile number one? How to shuffle. Right. And the driver behind that. Okay, and now in the, ooh, just got a crazy head rush. Okay, in the future, is there future potential in the 5D for pile number one's person to be in love with pile number one? Future energies for love, spirits, and the driver. All right, let's start in the past. So what do we have? Ooh, we have the Hangman. Now it is in reverse. And is this in reverse, spirit? Yeah, it is in reverse. Okay. So with the Hangman here, I feel like in the 5D, this person has the ability to really take a look. In the past, they were able to take a look at this connection from a, they were aware of taking a look at this connection from a different perspective that allow them to see clearly. But I feel as though this person in the 5D still wasn't allowing themselves to fully go there or fully feel feelings. I see this because this Hangman's eyes are closed, and I feel like they were almost going with the flow, and there was a knowing, but I don't feel like your person was allowing themselves to feel. I still feel like your person was knowing that they could potentially put their mind there and connect with this ethereal love, I guess, if you will, but because they were just, yeah, like this is a period of limbo, taking higher perspective. I feel like here this person understands and knows, but is just unwilling to admit to themselves, even in the 5D. That's pretty crazy. That's totally what I'm getting from that card. All right. Yeah, almost like there's a lot of pain here that this person is really needing to resolve. So this could very well mean, I'm hearing from spirit, that in even the past life or even previous to that, if this is resonating for some of you guys, that there was a lot of challenges that this person was unable to overcome, which is why maybe this is such a difficult connection for some of you guys, because maybe there was this inability to fully live out or reach a certain point in themselves. Okay, so I feel like, yeah, maybe there's still karmic lessons here that they need to learn, but I feel like your person wasn't wanting to address, or they needed a wake-up call, or they're not quite, even though they knew intuitively, but yeah, they still weren't acting on any of it. Okay, so let's take a look at the driver. So here we have the Queen of Wands, and it is in reverse. It's kind of giving me same energy as that Hangman, where the Queen attracts things, is a go-getter, is very much aware of what it is that she wants. I feel like your person kind of stalled out, or at least was holding back any sort of desire to move forward in the 5D. Yeah, and Queen of Wands in reverse could very much mean that there was no attraction in the 5D, or at least they're closing their eyes to there being any sort of attraction to you in the 5D. This is passing. Okay, so let's take a look at current. Ooh, we have the 10 of Swords, and that is in reverse. So I do feel as though a lot of you guys, like I said, are potentially in a period of no contact here because this is present. So I feel your person in the 5D right now wants to move away from troubling times in this connection, how it was. They're still hanging on to something in this connection. They can't quite let go. They recognize that you're, you know, this Queen of Pentacles, like we explained in the 3D, which is what's kind of holding them back still to this connection. They can't quite let it end, even though there's a sense of this dying off in their 5D self. It's like they are still, it's pretty reflective of their 3D self in the 5D, I would say. You know, they want to move away. They're still kind of hanging on to what it is that they know this connection could be, and they want to move away from difficulties. Okay, so let's take a look at the driving force behind that. The Magician. Yeah, so now they're more in the driver's seat. They're more in control, because here I feel as though they had their eyes closed. They weren't really acknowledging. Yeah, and potentially for some of you guys, maybe even this didn't start off spiritually for your person at all, because I don't see them in the 5D as engaged as I had thought that they would be, because they weren't acknowledging it. Even in the 5D, it was like this recognition wasn't quite there, and that's probably why there wasn't a reciprocal click. So if you were connecting on a spiritual level with this person, I just feel like they were actively turning a blind eye to anything, even subconsciously, because it might have been painful, might have just not have clicked for them, but it felt like it was of their own doing almost. And now I feel like with the Magician here, like they recognize they want to move away from how maybe they were letting things happen to them, and they want to be more in the driver's seat and control where it is that they want to go, specifically in this connection. So if there's been a separation of sorts with this 10 of Swords in reverse, I feel like now they're kind of really focused on a specific area or a specific thing that they want out of this connection with you, because all these swords kind of pointing to one focal point here. It's giving me that that vibe. And the fact that we have the Magician working really hard, also focused on what it is that in here he's holding the cup, and cup speaks of emotions. I feel like your person is really honing in on their emotions in the 5D world in order to be able to move away from maybe any challenges that they've had in this connection in the past with you, and be more in control of what it is they want to manifest with this emotional beginning with you, okay? In the 5D, in the present. Now let's take a look at future here for your person. So we have the 4 of Cups in the 5D. I'm going to get a clarifier for this before I flip the driver. So we have 2 cups standing, and we have 2 cups. I feel like they're still, because it's by the healing card, and we got 2 4s, I feel like their 3D world is really matching up to their 5D, where they recognize there's a need for healing, and until they can heal, they kind of aren't really interested so much in accepting a cup of love until the healing happens with the 2 4s. Like they can't really stabilize. There's a need for them to balance themselves out. And so I think the whole intent of them being in the current Magician is for them to heal and recognize this need for balance before they, yeah, that's totally what it is. But we'll pull a card here anyway, before they can acknowledge in the 5D that there is this love for you. So I would still say I don't see love, or I don't see that they're in love with you. Here we have the Fool, yeah. So the Fool is this person who's starting anew, who's jumping in, who's welcoming of what life has to offer. They're healed, so they're more open to accepting life and what, you know, what this connection could mean on a neutral level, on a balanced level. Because right now I think they're carrying maybe some, like I said, baggage, misconception. I feel like there was really these past life challenges that maybe never fully got rectified or on hold or on pause, and it kind of carried in or spilt in. So this person might be very difficult to address in this 3D world because of their history and their inability to really open themselves up to maybe continue what it was that in their past lives needed to kind of flow through. Okay, and that's for those of you guys resonating with that. But yeah, like I really feel like your person's 3D and their 5D are pretty in sync. Okay, so I feel like this is most likely a divine masculine, because I don't feel like this person is, yeah, I don't feel like there's I feel like this is a divine masculine. Okay, and now with this Fool card, it's like, yeah, after the healing, after their ability to balance things out with the 2 cups up and sideways, it's like now they can accept your couple love, or at least review what it would be to start anew, be in love, be open to love, because specifically that was the question. But right now I don't feel like they are capable of this, because this healing has not been done, and I feel like they're acknowledging, so this is positive, they're acknowledging that healing needs to be done in order for them to even just crack open this this love. Okay, so let's look at the driver here. Ooh, the sun. Yes, so this is clarity. Okay, this is someone who is shedding a light around an area, who is now, maybe you see this child's reaching out for the sun, this child here, it's like this inner child, there's an inner child recognition that there needs to be clarity around their choices. And I feel like this being around this Ace of Pentacles, it's like they will get this clarity that in the future that they are open enough to take a chance, which is extending this seed of potential in this connection, you know, to see where this goes. There's a need to not shut it down. There's this need to want to offer and extend. Where is this going to go, you know? So, but I don't feel as though this is an in love type situation. I feel like this is more of a person who will potentially be open to reviewing that, but has been fairly closed off, has been fairly challenged. And I feel as though their 3D and their 5D is pretty much in sync. Okay, so we'll give you a card of guidance here for pile number 1. Spirit, do we have a card of guidance going to help pile number 1? Now, I never recommend that you wait along for this person. I feel like you are a beautiful being. You were here with the Queen of Pentacles, so I feel like you are somebody who deserves love, who is open to receive love. You are coming through as someone who's most likely done your own healing. I feel like this is very painful, this connection, maybe very frustrating past with this person. So yeah, I would definitely stay focused on what's going to bring you love in your life. And potentially this review with this person could be, you know, later in life. The way my futures work here with energies, this is anywhere from 3 to 6 month window. So I mean, this isn't like far future, but that's just my own reading. Let that resonate however it resonates for you guys. All right, I clear my energy field. So yeah, there's definitely a need to get clear about what it is you want, and potentially clear out this person's energy, because I still feel like this person might be mixed up in your energy right now. And I mean, the Tektite does purify the heart chakra, so you might want to purify your heart chakra, and it also facilitates a connection with your spirit guides. It encourages positive emotional transformation, so, and it also is good at removing energy blocks. Okay, so yeah, this stone, now I see why you picked it. You know, you're going to want to clear out as much energy as you can, so you can also be in your Fool energy in future if this person does come around. But if this resonated, let me know how. If you liked my comfy sweater, Holy Sleeves, yeah, leave me a comment below. And if you feel you're drawn to another pile, feel free to go check that out as well. All right, thank you so much, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous pile number 2. If you pick this beautiful Moonstone, then pile number 2, this is your reading. All right, so if you skip the intro, if you're easily triggered, you may not want to do this reading, but we will be taking a look at your person who you have on your mind, whether if they were ever in love with you, if they're currently in love with you, and if there's potential in the future for them to be in love with you. Okay, but we'll be taking a look at their 3D self, so what they're fully aware of. And we'll also be taking a look at their 5D self. So maybe what's in the subconscious, what they are maybe not fully aware of as far as being in love with you. And we will take a look at that. But if you pick this Moonstone, I mean, you did pick the Moonstone, but Moonstone here, healing properties, is all about the feminine energy. Okay, this is also deepening psychic abilities. This is like divine wisdom. This allows for spiritual healing. It's also a magnifier of emotions, but in a balanced way. So it doesn't compromise balance in any sort of way. It also assists with fertility issues, which might be a thing here for some viewer I'm hearing specifically. So that might be a more specific message for somebody there. And it's also a stone of comfort in times of change. So I feel like maybe there's potentially a lot of changes here. So it's encouraging harmony, balance. And I believe the Moonstone here represents third eye and crown chakra as well. So that could very much be heightening the spiritual side of this connection. It is also the birthstone of Libra. So if you're resonating with Libra, again, that's speaking of balance, right? And I'm also hearing a good match for Scorpio. So if you are resonating with you or this person being a Libra or Scorpio, then that might be confirmation for some. But we will ask Spirit for a clear and concise message. Ooh, I will not take that because I was not ready. We'll ask Spirit for a clear and concise message for pile number 2, as far as in the 3D, if this person ever loved pile number 2, were they ever in love with pile number 2 in the 3D? Please provide clear and concise message for pile number 2. Thank you so much, Spirit. And pile number 2, I'm so blessed to be able to channel this message for you. Thank you for allowing me to tap into your energy. Okay, so I will be using the playing cards for the 3D messages. And we're talking about in love, okay, not love. So in love, this is most likely a romantic, or should be a romantic person you have in your mind, because that's what I'm asking about, is somebody who is in love with you, or at least if they've ever been in love with you. Okay, I'm getting really, really sharp heart pains right now. We did see the 5 of Swords popping out, okay, and for those of you guys who weren't, or I guess it was the 5 of Spades, that would be the 5 of Swords. And because there's like massive tight heart pain, either in the past or in the present, your person's definitely challenged you, or at least there's a very challenging situation. I feel like your person's really hurt you. I feel like this person has been really selfish and has been fighting, combative. They probably did something really foolish and silly. All right, spirits, thanks for that. Okay, 3D. Now this is past. This is the answer, whether they loved you or not. Here's the driver. Here's the future. Whether they love you or not, or in love with you or not, here's the driver, and here's the future. Answer and the driver, okay? So let's see. This is just 3D. We got the 6 of Cups. Okay, so there's something about, yes, when they met you, they were totally in love with you. But, okay, this isn't 3D, but what they were aware of was that you had a familiar feeling. So they were recognizing either something about you that brought them very close to home. It made them feel safe. So potentially you guys had a past connection, or past lifetime romance, if you will, that, or it didn't even have to be romance, just a past connection with this person in a past life that made them feel like home. I think they felt safe. They felt love from you. They felt love for you. I do feel like they were in love with you from the moment they met you, okay, in the 3D world. And at least this is something that they were able to acknowledge to themselves. Now, whether they told you about it, I don't think so. I believe they were honest with themselves as far as they knew how they felt. because this is 3D. I believe this person knew how they felt right when they met you. Okay, I do feel this love here. Okay, but I can't help but feel this pain in my heart. So maybe they self-sabotage this at some point, but there's definitely a nostalgic feeling with you. Feels like home, feels safe. Maybe you guys were friends for a really long time, but they've always been in love with you is really what I'm getting here from this card. Okay, so this is the driver behind it. Okay, so there's this Ace of Pentacles. I feel like this person also really wanted to start a physical bond with you in a way that was going to take it from maybe just an energetic bond or a friendly bond or knowing someone to actually have you in their life, okay, whatever that meant. And I feel like they were probably the ones who might have initiated with you. You know, maybe you were first to open up with emotions, but I feel like they were the first to maybe make the first step with you, like take the first step in this connection with you in the past. Maybe when you guys first met, maybe they were the first ones to approach, maybe the first ones to say they wanted something with you. But I feel like they were the ones kind of driving, or at least starting with starting with this, with their feelings. Okay, now let's take a look at present energy, whether they were ever in love with you. If you love my sleeves, by the way, you can leave me a comment. I'm not changing my comfy sweater. Ooh, current energies here. We have the 10 of Cups in the 3D. Yeah, this person went from the 6 of Cups to this 10 of Cups. I feel like your person right now currently is so overfilled with emotion for you. Like you're their ultimate fulfillment here emotionally, okay? Like there's no more that they could look to that's going to give them more than what you give them emotionally. Okay, so whether they're acting on it or not, again, we don't know. All we're asking about is how they're feeling. Okay, and because this is in the 3D, they're very much aware of these feelings, that you tick all the boxes. You're the perfect person. Okay, they're in love with you. You emotionally give them everything that they need, that they want, emotionally totally fulfilled and satisfied. And the driver under here, we have the Queen of Wands. They find you absolutely attractive. I mean, the Queen of Wands is fire energy, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But it's also the queen who is really attractive and a go-getter. And yeah, like this person is enamored by you, by your beauty, by what you give them emotionally. Okay, and because we're not looking at their actions, I'm really curious to see what that 5 of Swords was about. I mean, we didn't take it, but this heart pain that I'm feeling, I feel like there's something that happened. Okay, so if something happened, leave that in the comments, because again, this reading, I do have 4 piles to get through, and we're only asking about love. And yes, currently your person is absolutely in love with you. In fact, this in the tarot would most likely be one of the, you know, the top cards for emotional fulfillment here. Okay, nothing really beats the 10 of cups when it comes to what one wants. And I feel like this person, it's coming from a good place. I don't feel like it's a selfish desire as well. Okay, so let's take a look at future 3D. Ooh, here's the 5 of Swords coming out. So yeah, maybe I spoiler alerted it. If you guys haven't had a challenging situation here yet with this person, again, energy fluctuates, so it could very well be some of you guys have experienced this. Some of you guys might be entering into this period, but I do feel like with this 5 of Swords coming out in future energies around whether they love you, I feel like there is something that they are going to do to sabotage this feeling, for them to try to talk them out of wanting to feel this. So maybe this ramped up very quickly, because it started at a 6 of Cups, went to 10 of Cups, and it was just so emotionally intense, because I could feel this intensity coming from how attracted and how much desire they have for you, to now this 5 of Swords, which is sabotaging this connection and maybe telling oneself, no, I don't feel like this, and this isn't what I want, this isn't what I need, which is crazy, right? Now this is 3D, so Yeah, maybe they're the type of person too that once they get emotionally really, really close and start feeling those feelings, they pull away and do something stupid. So this could very well be a cyclical pattern that you guys experience, but I am looking at future energy again. So if this person and you are on this ride of makeup breakup, I could see this being a pattern for this person in the future again. Now, when I say self-sabotaging this, I mean, they don't have to outright do something that's going to, you know, like your worst thing that you could possibly think of to you, but it does definitely give me the vibes of them throwing this all away, or these emotions, or ignoring these emotions by being cold and hurting you in a way so that they can push you away, so they don't have to acknowledge or act out on this. Okay, even though I feel like they're the ones who might have initiated or started with you, or at least came into your, yeah, stepped up to you initially. Okay, so maybe I'm capturing too like a snapshot of a cycle here, where maybe this person came back for a reconciliation at some point, wanted to start things up with you again. Yeah, in fact, for a lot of you guys, right, like this is the reconciliation with the Six of Cups, coming back in, remembering what they had with you, extending hey, can we make things work? And then they come back in because they have all this love and all this attraction, and then boom, there they go, self-sabotaging. Okay, so this is driven by the Ace of Wands. So this person, yeah, like there's so much desire here with the Ace of Wands. This is like attraction, passion. This is also male energy. Like with the traction, I do feel like this person is probably trying to fight off that whole side of it, but I feel like they, with this Five of Swords, definitely do something to self-sabotage emotions or cover up emotions. Okay, they'll convince themselves when they get to the point of full love, full emotional fulfillment, and how much they're attracted to you, to the point of, yes, I'm attracted, but I don't want to feel anything. No, I don't feel anything. It's not love. Okay, so I don't know what they've told you, but that's kind of what I'm seeing here for emotions. Let's take a look at now the 5D, and we'll ask spirits in the 5D, does pile number two's person in love with them in the past? In the 5D, we're looking at the past only. Was pile number two's person in love with pile number two in the 5D? All right, thank you, spirit. All right, one more good shuffle like that. Okay, in the past, the driver. Okay, in the present, if they're presently in love with pile number two in the 5D, the driver. And in the future, is there future potential for them to be in love in the 5D with pile number two? All right, let's take a look. This is past in the 5D. Ooh, we got the 10 of Wands. Okay, so I do feel like Wands definitely speaks of passion. Wands is this heaviness, and I feel like this person in the 5D had a lot of desire, a lot of passion. There was definitely some recognition, and I feel like this person definitely in the 5D recognized a feeling around you of who you are and what you were meant for them to be, but it also came with a lot of heaviness. So potentially there's a history here that didn't quite align, and they weren't quite sure, because there's this feeling of home and nostalgia, but there's also this feeling of heaviness deep down coming from their subconscious with you and your connection. And we got the Queen of Swords. So this is kind of like the driver here of this, and it was coming in reverse, but I feel like, yeah, like it's most likely up right here. But what this really means to me is that this person most likely experience something in the 5D with this connection that allowed them to lay a boundary, and not allow themselves to fully experience what it is that they were feeling. For some reason, they felt the need to put in a boundary. They felt the need to not fully embrace, I guess, this connection for what it is. And it was kind of like on this pause or standstill in the 5D because it was just too heavy, and maybe there was some lessons that never got fulfilled, or a lesson that they learned to just stop in their tracks because it was just too heavy for them, whatever experience or history they had in this connection with you. Okay, so let's take a look at present in the 5D, whether your person's presently in love with you in the 5D. We have the Knight of Swords. Okay, I'm going to need a clarifier for that. Let's see, what do we have here? Like, I'm feeling like your person is acknowledging in the 5D almost where it was that they left off with you in that connection. And it's some bitter truths that I feel like they're still hung up on, or maybe some painful pasts with you that they experience that they're trying to acknowledge and make sense of. But I feel like this person is, yeah, this is probably why it results in this self-sabotaging. Like, there's still some painful, deep down subconscious healing that they're needing because they're still addressing some challenges from the past. But I'm going to ask for a clarifier here for the Knight of Swords. Spirit, for present energies. I do want this one here. What do we have? Yeah, the Two of Pentacles, and that was in reverse. And if you see here, it's like the underworld, you know, this underworld, and then above you have like growth, you have the sun coming out, and it's almost like this brewing or this history or this something that was like cultivating or percolating under the surface that needs to make its way out. And I feel like with the Two here of Pentacles, which speaks of balance, it's like this person still hasn't been balanced in their 5D to recognize or address maybe where things were stalled out, you know, in this spiritual connection at some point. So I feel like that's currently what they're balancing out. And because this isn't the 3D, you know, they may not even be aware of why the thoughts that are coming to them or feelings that are coming to them, what they're trying to make sense of. This is more like in dreams, downloads that they're getting. Okay. But yeah, this one was coming in reverse. So I do feel like they're still not quite there yet. And there's a need to make sense of it. There's a need for clarity. There's a need for truth. There's a need for accepting the truth, even though I think there's some disappointment that comes with it. And the driver here, we have the Eight of Cups. And it was also coming in reverse. Is it reverse, Spirit? Yes, it is in reverse. So Eight of Cups, I feel like this person and 5D level had to walk away emotionally or detach from you in this 5D level. This is probably why this connection is experiencing what it is experiencing here in the 3D, because this person experienced something with you in this 5D that made them have to stop and pause and emotionally disconnect themselves. However, because it is in reverse, I feel like they still hung on to, you know, they still hung on to this connection at a deep level, because there still needed to be some resolution to them. But I feel like the hanging on is actually not for healthy reasons. Maybe they came back in your life to kind of square away some karma. I'm picking that up for a lot of you guys, that there's something that they need to resolve in their 5D that they probably aren't even aware of why they're so drawn to you or why this is happening. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing here for the 5D. All right, let's take a look at future potentials of being in love with you. We got the King of Pentacles, and it was coming in reverse. I feel like this person is really imbalanced even in their 5D because they need to address and do healing around what's happened. So I feel like if we kept going in this timeline, we probably would eventually see this person healing. Now, whether this happens in this lifetime or not, I don't know. But I feel like this person is not stable or balanced enough for them to act in this connection. And in the future, I feel like I said, either this is cycles for some of you guys, or this is a secluded period with this person, but there was something in the 5D that was like some sort of karmic situation where they felt like they had to draw their boundary, and now they felt like they had to resolve this. But as far as being in love with you, I don't see that this person in the future has the potential to really balance that out in order to act in a way of being in love that's going to solidify this connection in a way that it needs to be solidified. In fact, I feel like that is primarily the obstacle that they keep hitting, and then going into a cycle that they're unstable, they're unable to love you, they're hung up on whatever it was that's kind of happened where they need this karmic lesson. So yeah, there's definitely healing that needs to happen in order for them to recognize how it is that they feel for you, because they hit this wall and they're still trying to figure it out. And this would also explain why there's probably cyclical patterns here in this connection where they're getting the 8 of Cups, are unable to walk away and break free emotionally to start new. Like, I'd love to see the Fool here or something like new, but it's just, I feel like this cycle this person's in because they're unable to really heal themselves deeply and do the work that's required to answer any sort of 5D pains, you know, for them to move forward here. Earth energy here. So we do have Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. We have some swords here as well, which is air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We did talk about Libra being in the birthstone. And we did talk a little bit about some Scorpio, which could very well be the case because we're seeing a lot of water energy here with the cups, cups, cups. Okay, so let's take a look at the driver here. So we got the 5 of Swords again, guys. So, I mean, you saw me shuffle. The whole reason, I mean, this is the driver in the 5D, but it's like this person is acting out in the 3D what it feels like they feel like in the 5D. Or at least that's where they start hitting that wall and where you start getting that version of them is the driver is this 5 of Swords, is nobody wins. Let me, you know, there's a deep pain here, and this person acts out in a way that is reflecting what they're feeling in the 5D from some past history here with you, some karmic lessons that they might need to learn. But this 5 of Swords is really painful, and I feel like they feel there is no way out. I mean, these swords just keep on going, and I feel like there needs to be a break in this cycle for this person, and I feel like they want to here with the Ace of Wands. At least they're inspired to do so in the 3D to find a way, but I feel like it's just stemming so deep that they might need to really dig in deep in the shadow work in order to figure out why they feel unstable, why they're unable to commit to this relationship. So the question here was about being in love, and I feel like this person in a soul level in the 5D still needs to find that, but there was a soul recognition here from a past life, and maybe a reconciliation here in the 3D life of someone who really was trying to make a go of something, and they recognize this full potential that maybe they feel they could have with you in the current state, but when they dig in deep, they can't find it there. So it could very well be something that they want to manifest in the 3D world, but cannot find in the 5D world. When they go back to review it, you know, and I am getting that message for some of you guys that maybe it felt right in the surface, but every time they dig in deep to say, okay, this is my person or my person, and they go to review their internal 5D self, they hit this overwhelming feeling of this block where it's like they can't lie. They got to be honest about it. Yeah, that's actually really painting a picture here for me that I don't think this person is able to be truly in love with you, or at least move into that state until they can match their inner world with their outer world. And even if they show you love, which I believe they probably have, at least showed you, I don't know if they were completely honest with you, they go internal to try to convince themselves or find that feeling inside, and then they hit this wall block, which might manifest in the outside world, like this Five of Swords, which is really challenging. Okay, wow. Oof, okay, massive headache. Let me pull a card here. Spirit, can we get a card of advice here for pile number 2 regarding the situation with their person? Thank you so much, Spirit. Clear and concise card that's going to help for the greatest good of pile number 2 in this situation with their person. I got raise your vibration is a mantra that calls me to light up. Yeah, like, especially if you're experiencing these Five of Swords from your person, which is a very heavy, like, it's one of the most challenging cards here in the tarot for sure. And with there being no out, I feel like you're kind of been stuck in this person's energy as well. You might want to go check out pile number 1, but raise your vibration is a mantra that calls me to light up. I just feel like, yeah, you're going to need to, well, you can do what you'd like, but in order to break yourself from this cycle, I feel like raising your vibration may help to jolt this person out of this state. If they see that you're, you know, and they do think of you as this Queen of Wands. But I just feel like you got to keep your vibration up despite how this person is acting around you. Is your best word of advice here from Spirit. So pile number 2, that was pretty deep. Took me a bit to kind of get into that whole thing. Hopefully you followed along. If that resonated, leave a comment below so I can understand how it resonated. And you might want to go check out the other piles if there are messages in there for you. Thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to like this video. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile number 3. If you pick this Goldstone in the brown color, this is absolutely beautiful. I always call this the Sunstone for some reason, and yeah, I'm just always, when I'm like looking up Sunstone, it's like, no, it's the Goldstone. So I don't know, it reminds me of the sun, and the sun is clarity, and the sun is so positive. But what the Goldstone healing properties are is ambition, it's positive attitude, it builds your energy, it's vitality, it increases drive, it increases confidence. It also represents the sacral chakra. And the numerical vibration for this stone is the number 3, which is collaboration. And yeah, it just builds your confidence and ambition. Okay, so it's very good for kicking out any negative energy, and it just revitalizes your body. So just picking up a really good energy here from this Goldstone. Okay, so if you skip the beginning, we're going to be asking about whether the person on your mind was ever in love with you in the past, whether they're currently in love with you right now in the present, and whether there's a potential for them to be in love with you in the future. And we'll be asking or looking at their 3D self, which means what they're aware of in the 3D world. Okay, so they might not communicate it, but at least they're aware of it's what they're feeling, the truth behind what they're actually feeling there. Okay, and then we'll be looking at the 5D self and asking Spirit for the 5D self and whether the same thing, whether they've been in love with you or have a potential to be. Okay, so Spirit, clear and concise message here for pile number 3. We are looking for whether pile number 3's person on their mind has been in love with them in the past, in the 3D. Were they aware of it? Were they in love with pile number 3 in the past? And were they aware of it in the 3D? How are they feeling? All right, so we got the answer, and then we got the driver behind that. Now we're looking for current in the 3D. Is pile number 3's person in love with them currently? And the driver. And in the future, is there future potential for pile number 3's person to be in love with them, and the driver behind that? Okay, so we'll look at the answer and then kind of what's guided them towards that answer, or some sort of backup as to why they're feeling that love or that they're not in love. So past. If you're easily triggered, this video is not for you. If you have issues, read my disclaimer. If you don't believe in this, stop clicking on these videos. Just a little side note for someone here. All right, so let's take a look. Ooh, the King of Cups. What did I tell you with the Goldstone, you guys? Well, King of Cups, it doesn't get, you know, a lot more showing love than this King of Cups, or at least the King of Cups can emotionally regulate his emotions, but he feels deep love. It's a stable love. It is love, okay? So yes, in the past, your person had a deep sense of love for you. It was pure. It was true. And yeah, it's just beautiful. And with the water energy, you have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, which might resonate for some of you guys, okay? Let's take a look. Drivers, the Five of Cups. Okay, so potentially for them, there's a lot of heart pain. So when they came into this connection, they could have very well have experienced heartache. They could have very well been in a situation which allowed them to experience lessons in love that allow them to see love and recognize love when they came in a connection with you, okay? Because we know that there could potentially people who don't really recognize love. And I feel like this person was in a relationship with another, and not necessarily that they were in love with this other person, but this connection allowed them to see love in a way that this is almost confirmation that for sure they were in love with you, because they recognized love themselves, okay? So when they felt it, they knew it was love. Okay, there was no question in their mind that this was love, based on their experience and their history and other past relationships, to be able to recognize the feelings, the stirrings of love. Okay, so that's very positive. So now let's look at present, whether your person is in love with you. So we got the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, and the Nine of Pentacles speaks of somebody who is, it could be the single card, but I feel like it's somebody who is independently able to stand in their own right. So maybe what I'm feeling for some of you guys, this person was in love with you in the past, and potentially they communicated or expressed their need for independence. Maybe they've communicated their need to want to build themselves up a little bit more in the area of career. Maybe they've been more focused with their career than they have been on you, or more independent stuff, or where they're trying to build themselves up. And the focus hasn't been so much about how they're feeling about you per se. Okay, so I still don't feel as though the love went away. I just feel like the focus definitely shifted from you to them currently, okay? And now energy fluctuates. So when I say current, this could be energies that you're kind of going into or coming out of based on where you fall in the timeline here. And energies from spirit that I'm communicating could come out pretty exaggerated and heavy and pointed. So just, you know, take whatever on that scale that's resonating, and you don't have to take my message. If you don't agree, just follow your intuition, okay? But focusing on self, where it's driving from, we got this Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so I think this is a really good place. So your person feels as though they want to be able to build their legacy. So even you guys got married, or you guys have a relationship, or you guys might even be disconnected, but the point being, this person's building themselves so they could build this solid foundation, this family life, this abundance, you know, and they feel like they're the drivers of who can make this happen. You know, they're the ones who can build a home, build a family. You know, this is like white picket fence and kids and grandparents and all that fun stuff. So I feel like this person is really focused on getting that. And that's kind of where the energy is showing in the 3D. Now, if you say whether they love you, I'm not feeling like they're so focused on the love for you, more so that this person is focused on attaining this sort of structure around them. And you could very well be alongside. So maybe this is why you're here, is like you're not feeling like your person might be loving you so much. You're feeling in love with you, that they're more focused on this physical side of things. Yeah, and I don't know, this is interesting for me because I'm kind of resonating with this whole thing. Just with energies it could be that you're really questioning your person's love because the energy shift is really around them trying to better the situation. So if you're alongside this person, they might be doing this out of love, but there might be that flag of them disconnecting from the emotional side of what love means and shifting into what they think love might mean. Especially if they're more focused on this, building this empire, so to speak, currently. Okay, so this is 3D again. This isn't 5D, which we'll take a look at. Let's look at future energies. We have the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so Six of Pentacles is the balance, give and take. And I feel like this is still pretty positive here. I just feel like you're in the 3D, your person's kind of more shifted from these emotional feelings to, okay, what can we tangibly do with each other? Because maybe they resonated with love being, with the love that they experienced in the past, which was painful, and the experience that they had, which they might have thought was love, but really all it did was highlight what love actually is. And so this feeling that they had with you in the beginning felt like love and is love to them. And now, because maybe the connection's maturing, and I don't feel like this person might have matured in this way in any other connection, that I think they've lost touch maybe with what true love is, that it's shifted into this, what are we able to manifest here in this 3D world? What am I able to give you and you give to me? So I feel like this person is really giving. I do feel like this person loves you, but I feel like they've shifted energies here and they might need to be poked a little bit. Okay, so let's take a look at the driver. Yeah, the Two of Swords. So to speak of choices with the Two of Swords, it's like somebody not really acting on something. So I feel like there's this need for them to show more love. I think there's a need for them to get in touch with their emotions more. I feel like they understand that they need to balance out getting their own independent self and their success and building their empire. There needs to be a balance out with that and how they show their feelings for you or how they feel for you. And maybe because they're so focused on that side that they're unsure right now how to show love. This is how they're showing it, you know, how are they? Maybe they're even unsure if they're in love with you still, if they've been so shifted and focused on this other part that they're not really paying mind to their emotions and how they're feeling. Okay, so this is in the 3D. We're going to ask about 5D with this person, Spirit, for pile number 3. How is their, or is their person, was their person in love with them in the past, in the 5D? Were they in love with pile number 3 in the 5D in the past? Right. And one more good shuffle. Now, this is a collective reading, guys. If you're interested in a private reading, you can click on the link below. I will resume private readings starting back up mid-January if you're interested. Private readings tend to be a lot more accurate as far as energy. All right. So this is past in the 5D. Answer whether they were in love with you. This is the driver. And we got present. And the 5D is pile number 3's person presently in love with them. Okay, and then future potential of being in love with pile number 3. What is the future potential in the 5D? All right. Let's see what we have. Okay, we got the 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords speaks of almost feeling like you're held back in some sort of way. I feel like your person might have felt in the 5D with the experience that they had in the 3D world that potentially they were telling themselves limiting beliefs that they started to believe that they understood maybe what love was about, what love meant to them. That might have been falsities, that might have not have been completely true, that was holding them back. So potentially this love that they felt in this 3D world was their version of what they felt was love. But in the 5D, I still feel like there was this holding back and maybe not a full love. So if I were to look at this, did they love you? I feel like they didn't allow themselves to fully delve into true love in this 5D. I would say no. Okay, so maybe they 3D felt like they were in love, but in the 5D, there was some blockage there. There was something else they were kind of focused on, or at least holding them back. That didn't allow them to feel this full in love with feeling. Okay, and we did have the sun in reverse here coming out as the driver. Yeah, I feel like there needed to be clarity around what is being in love, right? Like all these swords are kind of pointing at this focal area. And I feel like your person in the 5D was like, I need to be clear as to what it is to be in love. Like they didn't really know. They were uncertain. They were not really clear in the 5D world. Interesting. Let's take a look at the present. 5D. Ooh, okay, we got the Queen of Wands, and this Queen of Wands was coming in reverse. Is it reverse or is it upright? It's reverse. Okay. Queen of Wands. Yeah, still this held back energy here in the 5D. I feel like this is your person's energy potentially. So if your person's a divine feminine, this could very well be just reinforcing that. Or at least in the 5D, this is like this feminine energy I'm really feeling. Even though overall the feeling I was getting was a masculine feeling, but hopefully that makes sense for somebody here. But I was feeling like with this energy here, because the Queen of Wands is somebody who is very driven, who is very good with the law of attraction and bringing in what it is that they want. And this is also Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, which this stone would, the sacral chakra. Yeah, I'm almost feeling like this Leo, Sagittarius, but mostly Leo feeling from this stone. And Leo from this card as well. That's just for somebody out here to confirm whether this is their person or not. But with it in reverse, I feel like this person's being held back in the 5D. And it's the same feeling I was getting here. Like something's holding them back from going after what it is because this is around being in love, holding them back from being in love or their full emotions. They're not allowing themselves to really hone in full love for themselves. So maybe they're covering this up with all this physical activity of, building a home and building their success and, trying to balance things out here in this material world so much, because there is this inability, or at least this inner understanding at this point that they're not really addressing or looking at when it comes to being in love. And the Four of Swords here talks about healing. So yeah, like your person recognizes that there's a need. Oh, I'm feeling really sharp pains in my heart. Oh, okay. Your person feels like there's a need to heal themselves. They've experienced really bad heartache. Yes, in this life, which might have triggered something from their 5D, because I feel like in the 5D, they're need to focus on and really work on heart and healing their heart, but they're kind of in this inability to do so. And I feel like they know that in the 5D, and they're just kind of stalled at that point where it's like, I know I need to heal that, and I know I need to do stuff in this world in order for me to really heal from some of these karmic lessons and some of these heartaches that I need to work my way through in order to fully love deeply. Interesting. Okay. Now, future energies. Could this person be in love with you in the future? We got the King of Cups, and we did get it in reverse. I feel like, yes, there's a potential for sure for your person to be in love with you in the future, but I do feel with it in reverse that the healing is what needs to happen in order for them to want to do that healing, for them to be able to then allow themselves in the 5D to really feel the depth of their love. And it's interesting how we opened up with the King of Cups, and we have the King of Cups here, but in reverse. It's like they started in the 3D with him upright, but in the 5D, the potential is there for him to be upright. But, and I say him because I am picking up this masculine energy here, with the King of Cups, to be able to really regulate emotions of love and be honest with one's emotions. But with it in reverse, I feel like, yeah, they need to balance things out and accept their emotions and do this healing. Let's see the driver here. Ooh, the 10 of Swords. Yeah, they got to let go of something that they're not quite letting go of, because the 10 of Swords here is in reverse. There's something that needs to be put to bed, so that they can free themselves from the 8 of Swords in order to allow themselves to love. And I feel like it within in reverse, they're like not letting something end that was painful, or at least they've experienced an ending that was painful, but they haven't moved on from that and done the proper healing. And maybe in this lifetime, they're supposed to be addressing and looking at healing this stuff, and it's not happening. And maybe that's why you're in their life, but I feel like they are focused more on the material things right now in the 3D, and there's this indecision. Maybe they've come to recognize that they have to take a deeper look at emotional matters rather than this physical matter. But there's a lot of pentacles here, and this did start off in the emotional realm. So I feel like maybe they know that they needed to be with you emotionally in order to resolve this 5D issue, but it morphed into being focused on this in the 3D more materials type stuff, that it's shifted, and now they need this wake up from in this 3D in order to trigger them back into what they're supposed to be doing, which is this healing, this letting go of pain, so they recognize their emotion. Yeah, and I am feeling really like sharp pains in my heart here, which I believe is stemming from your person. I wish I could like send you guys the feelings that I get when I'm like reading these readings, so you can resonate with the energy feeling and say, yeah, this is totally what I'm feeling, you know, that for confirmation. It's difficult to describe the energies. Definitely feels different. Okay, so we'll get you a guidance card here. Spirit, can we get a guidance card here for pile number 3? What message for the highest good of pile number 3 regarding this situation with their person? Okay, and if I wasn't clear, there is a potential definitely for your person to be in love with you in the future, but I just feel like the way it's going, they're going to have to actively resolve in action in 3D in order for them to break out in the 5D that healing that needed to happen. Okay, so yeah, if that wasn't clear. Ooh, see this from a higher perspective. So yeah, well, I mean, this is a higher perspective type of reading, and I feel like in the higher perspective is really allowing this person to work on self and heal. And I feel like they're trying to do things for the good reason, like with the 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, good reason. But I feel like it's more a distraction from being able to highly see why it is that they're doing all these things. Is it, you know, is it all these things in order to distract from what's really going on the surface? A need for healing, a need for addressing emotions, a need for really taking a look at that. And I feel like for you, this will be Spirit's way of saying, you know, understand that this person is showing the best that they can of how they understand love to be. And it could be stuck in material things for now, because that's the capacity at which they're able to love at this point, because their higher self is still sorting through and trying to really heal from this mental blockage of a past experience, and they need more clarity. Okay, and I think this in this lifetime they were supposed to get more clarity, but they're being a little bit 2 of Swords-ish, which means they're not really acting on what they're supposed to be doing because they're probably too focused on the, it's easy to distract in the physical stuff here. Okay, so hopefully this resonated for you. Leave a comment, leave a like. I love you guys so much. I wish you guys the very, very best. You can resonate with multiple piles here. Maybe there's just certain messages that resonate and not the whole reading. So that's fine too. Just take what's resonating, leave the rest behind. See you soon. Bye guys. Hello, my beautiful pile number 4. Ooh, look at this piece of raw amethyst. If you pick the amethyst, then this will be your reading. Now, you pick the amethyst, and the amethyst, it represents third eye chakra and also crown chakra. So there were a few stones here which were more leaning towards spirituality, but certainly third eye, crown chakra, to me, that's definitely around spirituality, okay, spiritual awareness. But it could also represent the month of February, so that might be significant for a lot of you guys. Also for the zodiac, you have Sagittarius, Aquarius, Capricorn, Virgo, and Pisces, I believe, for amethyst, okay? It's also ruled by the planet Jupiter, and Jupiter is very lucky. Jupiter is the big planet, so that is the planet of luck and all good things. It signifies air and water. So water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and then air, we got Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So that's quite the range, okay? Now, you don't have to resonate with all that, but those signs could be significant in your birth chart of you or your person. Now, this does have the numerical vibration of the number 3, which speaks of collaboration and being able to build, also spirituality. This increases inner peace. Like I said, it's very good for spiritual awareness and healing your mind and your body. It allows for psychic abilities, positive transformation, meditation, balance, and one thing I love as well is it is good for communication. Okay, so there's lots going on with that stone. I love it, and that's why amethyst is just such a beautiful stone. Pretty to look at, but also great to carry. So we will ask Spirit, for those of you guys who skipped the intro, we're asking Spirit for clear and concise message here for the person on your mind, whether they have ever been in love with you in the past, whether they're presently in love with you, and whether there's potential for them to be in love with you in the future. And we are asking their 3D self, which is, you know, are they aware of being in love with you? And then we're going to ask the 5D self, and we're going to compare the two, but we're going to start with the 3D self, which is, you know, what are they aware of with this love? Are they aware that they have been in love or can be in love? Will they be aware of it in this earthly plane? They might have not have told you, but whether they're aware of it or feeling it are two different things, okay? So Spirit, clear and concise for pile number 4. You're asking in the past if their person has ever been in love with them in the 3D, if they were aware that they were in love with pile number 4. Thank you so much, Spirit, for a clear and concise message. And thank you, pile number 4, for allowing me to tap into your energy. All right, let's get started. So this is the answer, and this is the driver behind that. Now we'll ask for present. Are they presently in love with pile number 4? And what is the driver? In the 3D, and then in the future in the 3D, is there potential for them to be in love with pile number 4? This one definitely wants to come out. And the driver. Okay, well, we got the 3 of Cups here as a driver, so we'll get into this future, but did want to make itself known. We'll see why. Okay, so in the past, the answer, yeah, I'm using playing cards, by the way, for the 3D, but we'll get to the bottom of it. Okay, so we have the 7 of Pentacles for the answer here for in the past, whether your person was ever in love with you. And because we have 7 of Pentacles, I feel like your person was not quite there in the past. So I feel like maybe what this is saying is there was something that they wanted to maybe achieve or work on, or maybe there was something within them that wanted to invest in this area in order to see what would develop. But I feel like, yeah, they weren't quite there, okay, in the past. I feel like it was at least a lot of work for them to get to there, if they ever did get to there, which we'll see, okay? This is past energy in the 3D. 6 of Cups. So their driver is 6 of Cups. Okay, so for some of you guys, maybe there was a reconciliation of sorts, this person coming into your life in order to work on seeing if they could be in love with you. So maybe they were driven by wanting to feel love for you and you know, putting themselves in a situation where they feel like they need to be in love with you or they want to be in love with you. So they might as well work on being in love with you in the 3D. And I feel like for those of you guys who didn't reconcile and this isn't a past person that's coming back around, I feel like your person felt like they've known you. They feel close to home with you. They feel there's a soul connection. At least there's a recognition here of you in the past for them that makes them feel like home. Therefore, they wanted to make an effort in trying to build something with you in a way that was going to allow them to feel the love for you or fall in love with you. But I don't feel like they, in the past, were in love with you, okay? So let's take a look at current energies here in the 3D. We got the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so that would stand to reason here from the 7 to the 10. You guys might want to go check out pile number 3 because I feel this is kind of giving me same vibes, unfortunately, which is going to hurt my head. But okay, so yeah, I feel like before I flip the driver card here with the 10 of Pentacles, it's like I don't think that this person is loving you in the 3D world that's connecting to emotions. I feel this person is really more in the physical ways of showing, and maybe they're putting in energy or time with you, or maybe they're even telling you, but I feel like this person is more on the surface being able to connect in a 3D way. And I mean, this is the 3D showing, but I don't feel like it's connecting to their emotions, or at least they aren't emotionally tapping into the love that they feel for you. They're like, you know, the 10 of Pentacles is full abundance, but it's like building your legacy, you know, with success and structure and home and family. So it's like their focus is on, yes, family and home and building this thing, whether it be with you or on their own if they're separate from you now. But it's more this wanting this stability than it is really tapping into emotions. Okay, so let's see the driver. We got the 5 of Pentacles. Yes, I feel like these are two polar opposite cards here, right? With the 5 of Pentacles, it's somebody who feels like they don't have riches or left out in the cold. They could be poor or lacking in some area of what they feel they want or need. So there is this want to build a solid self with their family, with their structure, because the driving force is they don't want to be left out or without. There's a heavy focus here on material abundance and building material structure, and even with the 7 of Pentacles here. So maybe from when you've known your person, they've been fairly materialistic maybe, or at least a very hard worker, and they're more focused on things that matter rather than emotions and heart feelings. Okay, but with the driver here of the 6 of Cups, I feel like it is stemming from some love that they can connect with by knowing you, but I don't feel like in the 3D they're acting on that love, or at least showing in a loving place. Okay, or could be a loving place, it's just it's not connecting back to emotional being in love with you, if that made sense for you guys. Okay, so let's take a look at the answer here for future potential of being in love in the 3D. We got this 4 of Pentacles again, all these pentacles here. 4 of Pentacles is definitely balanced, but I really encourage you guys to check out pile number 3, because this is giving me definitely the same type of energy where it's like somebody who is more focused on what it is that they could attain. Maybe they're like trying to really build this structure in the physical world, but it's like stifling out maybe any emotions that they might feel, or they have this lack mindset that if they were to not focus on building this up, that they might be lacking in some area. So they're hanging on to this, you know, this physical side. It could be finances, like I said. It could be just their career. It could be just, it could really mean anything in the physical sense. Okay, it doesn't have to be money or finances or like cars and riches, that type of stuff, houses, but it's whatever, it's physical, right? It's more physical than it is emotional here. And because we have the driver here with the 3 of Cups, it's almost like this person it is rooted with love. So it'll be interesting to see their 5D. But the 3 of Cups is like this light energy of love. So it's almost like celebrations, your social network, being happy, you know, even maybe I heard in my head right now, Spirit said keeping up with the Joneses. So maybe your person feels like they want to be, I don't know, I feel like this like surface type shield maybe that allows them to think that this is what love is, but I don't know. This isn't a deep love. Like, I mean, the Six of Cups isn't not all necessarily that deep, and neither is the Three of Cups. Like, this is a familiarity. This is, you know, wanting to reconcile. This is definitely love, like a child type love, like home, safety. But with the three, I mean, the three is not really anywhere near the Ten of Cups or the, you know, the King of Cups. So this is 3D. We'll take a look now in the 5D, and we'll ask Spirit for pile number 4's person in the 5D. Were they ever in love with pile number 4 in the past? Thank you, Spirit, for a clear and concise message. All right, this is kind of coming in sideways, but what do we have here? The World. Okay, I do feel like that is upright. So that's the answer, and let me lay the cards out first. What's the driver behind this world? Yeah, this one. Okay, presently in the 5D, this pile number 4 is person presently in love with pile number 4, and the driver, and in the future potential in the 5D. This one's calling out. Okay, and the driver for that answer in the 5D in the future. We got that. Okay, so with the world speaks of like a graduation, an end of a cycle. I feel like your person has completed some sort of karmic cycle. And it's almost like they are in this lifetime to start anew. And I feel like this person, maybe that's why their love is, to me, I mean, this is kind of hurtful, but this is what I'm feeling like. Their love seems kind of shallow. Their capacity to love, their inability to fully dig in deep with love. And I feel it's because they've ended some sort of cycle, some sort of karmic cycle where now they're kind of starting anew with their love. It's kind of what I'm feeling with this 5D. And so if you say if they love you with this World card, I feel like it's not a no, but it's not really a yes. I feel like they're still figuring out this newness because it's like a newborn baby. It's like the newborn baby doesn't know what they don't know. That's kind of what I'm feeling with this person in the 5D. This is the Chariot, and it was in reverse for the driver. Yeah, I kind of feel like now that this cycle of whatever karmic lessons or whatever they needed to work on and learn kind of feels like it came to a close. I feel like your person feels like they don't really know what direction they're going in. So they're kind of playing it blind. And I guess maybe they've been drawn to more of this physical, or yeah, this material physical love that's more like stuff and grounding stuff in the 3D world than it really is about tapping into emotions, because I feel like there's a need for balance. There's a need for them to address both sides of themselves, but like emotions with the physical world. I just feel like there's this inability to do that right now. Okay, or not right now, I'm sorry, this was in the past, but in the 5D, they were unable, kind of when they met you, they were unable to do that, which way to go, because something was kind of closed out as far as the cycle. Now in the 5D in the present, okay, how they feel for you, or if they're in love with you. Yeah, we got this Knave of Wands, and the Knaves are pages. So I feel like this person's starting anew, and Wands is passion. Wands is starting something exciting. So yes, your person feels passionate. I don't see them being in love with you. It's like they're ramping up in this 5D world to get to where love is, but currently they're just in this like beginning of feeling inspired and excited, and you know, maybe these flashy things that they're working on and building on for them is them feeling like it's love in the 3D, because the 5D still isn't fully matured enough to feel the love depths because they've kind of started in this cycle. Okay, so let's take a look at the driver behind this Knave of Wands. I kind of feel like before I do that, they also, I feel like they know better, because they're kind of looking back And I feel like they're looking back maybe at a cycle, like, okay, maybe I'm missing something, and they're feeling, yeah, they are feeling a little bit empty, because I feel like they're not allowing themselves to emotionally feel, and they're maybe, even in the 5D, it's like they're had no aim because something's wrapped up and come to an end, so they had to find their way, and they're starting as a page in an area that they feel something definitely is missing, and it could very well be that being in touch with emotion. So the driver here, we got the 7 of Cups in reverse, and this could definitely speak of still mass confusion, you know, like just too much muddled thinking. I was getting muddled thinking, lack of direction here with the Chariot in reverse, and here too with the 7 of Cups. It's like confusion, muddled thinking, too many options, could go any which way, not sure where to go. You got 3 cups standing up, which again, we were talking about the numerical vibration of this amethyst was the number 3. So that's just sticking with me right now with this 3 of Cups. I feel like this person wants to build something with you. I think they're more focused on material things, because there's this, maybe now that the cycle's ended, they're driven to build something. Cups is emotion, but I still feel like because it's being a 3, and 3 here of Cups as well, which I just saw, and it was the only one that flipped upright, I think we're on to something here, guys. This 3 of Cups means something. So I'm going to say a few things. If something's really resonating here for a lot of you guys, I heard pregnancy. And I'm feeling, yeah, we talked about this lightheartedness, because I feel like they're really focused on building something. Maybe you're meant here to build something with them in this physical world, but it's not the deepest love that you could potentially have with this person, and that's kind of confusing. It's confusing to you, I would imagine, but probably confusing to them, and maybe it's not confusing to you, but for them, are kind of connecting this back to emotions. But as we know, I mean, that's building things, buying things, and developing things. There is a love to it, but it's not really necessarily being in love with someone's soul. And I feel like that's what this person is not able to experience now, or hasn't in the past, and is unable to now. Wow. Okay, that was an interesting feeling I had. 3 of Cups is also social network, getting together, reuniting, lighthearted energy. Okay, so let's take a look at future potential in the 5D of being in love with you. Okay, so we have another knave, which is Page of Swords now, and pages speak of children. Okay, so maybe that's what I was getting, this pregnancy, fertility, wanting to have kids, build something. Maybe they're a child at heart. I just feel like there's something with children, their inner child here with the 2 pages. I feel like, yeah, they're starting from anew again, and I still feel with this Page of Swords in the future, whether they're able to, I mean, future, when I do future, this is like, you know, 3 to 6 months out. So if we keep going on the timeline, potentially there could be a love here, but I'm just looking at, you know, a relative energy in space here for future. And I don't see there being a recognition of being in love with you, but I do see there being a beginning of, hey, if you look at him, he's like, hey, I got to think about what is it here that's still missing? Because I feel like this ended, there was no direction, there was lack of clarity, there was beginning on a journey of something they wanted, and now the next stage is really looking at something still feels like it's missing. I need to really think about what it is that I'm doing here, right? And I think this is the soul recognition that eventually this page will eventually graduate to this King of Cups that's able to then be in love and show love and experience love. But I don't think this person really fully is mature enough in love, is emotionally mature enough, right? Even in the 5D. If that's not what you wanted to hear, then I'm sorry, but that's definitely what I'm seeing here, okay? And I feel like because this Knave of Swords is on like a chessboard, like this person is still strategizing and trying to figure things out. And it, to me, That's kind of feels a little empty, like strategizing, like love's not about strategizing, but that's kind of what I was picking up, like with pile number 3 and with your pile, with all these like pentacles of like trying to build and work with stuff rather than deal with emotions. And maybe, you know, their next stage is more being logical and mental about it, which is still not tapping into emotions. And there's this little moon here, which could very well be like fears that are right around the corner from this stage. So I feel like there's still a long chess game. There's still a long battle. There's still a long progression from this page graduating with the fears around the corner. Might be what their next stage after this, to start to recognize maybe emotions are there. Moon also speaks of emotions. All right, so what's the driver behind that? We got the 8 of Cups, which is walking away from something emotionally that is painful to walk away from, but that's not satisfying oneself as much as it used to in the past. And I feel like because this person started with the World card here in the 5D, that I feel like they had to walk away from an emotional thing, or at least it was closed, you know, like the emotional investment here. And it's almost like this yeah, it's almost like this Page of Swords knows, because in the 5D, they understand and they know that they've experienced an emotion with something that they were connected to. I mean, this is the 8 of Cups, so emotions were definitely there. Now, not necessarily for you, but in the 5D, this person experienced emotions at some point. So they're looking down, logically thinking, okay, what am I missing? There's this sense of knowing. There's this, you know, with the moon, it's like the subconscious knows of this emotional feeling that brings this feeling about, that I think they had to close out, that they had to leave in order to push them into this new journey of life. I don't think this person's capable of loving deeply in the 5D is what I'm seeing. And clearly in the 3D, if you're resonating and watching this far, I don't think they have either. Okay. I mean, everyone loves to their capacity. So if they could certainly say, yes, I do love you. And that would be an honest truth as far as they're concerned, because that's how they know love or show love, and everyone loves to their own capacity. So this kind of is a interesting reading to do. But if you're asking about actual true depths of being in love, I don't feel this person can be truly deeply in love, because they're still developing that with the 2 pages. And maybe your whole get together here with the 10 of Pentacles, specifically with this building family, and I was talking about pregnancy, and then talking about number 3 there. I think that maybe building a child with this person, creating a child. You know, it could be a career, it could be a business you guys are creating, but I feel like for a lot of you guys, it could be a child. Maybe you've had a child with this person. Maybe they have a son. Maybe they have a son, or they're meant to have a son in this lifetime. Okay. So we're asking Spirit for a guidance card for you. Raise your vibration is a mantra that calls me to light up. This came out for pile number 3. I definitely feel there's a connection here between the 2 piles. They were almost very similar. But with the raise your vibration, I feel like, yeah, Spirit's asking you to be able to give yourself love. To raise your vibration might mean to, if something feels missing and you're feeling like you're kind of lowered to their vibration of where they're at for love, they're asking you, or Spirit's asking you to raise it. And if that means, you know, being around people that are going to give you or love to your capacity to raise your vibration, this is what's going to call you out of this feeling. Because I just feel like this is at a certain level that is still really young, that still needs development, and could be very painful, especially if you're a deep lover. You know, if you are a Scorpio, I mean, everyone has their ability to love deeply, but I just feel like with Jupiter too, Jupiter being such an expansive planet here, yeah. All right. Well, we did, this is a message for someone. At the beginning, we did talk about communication with this Amethyst. I think having open communication with this person will really put things into perspective and understand why their focus has been on material things, or what their ambitions are, what they're aiming for. So at least you guys can get on the same page. And maybe it is about something more than just deep emotions here with this person that you can connect on and be supportive of them on this journey. Thank you so much, you guys. I hope you resonated. Leave a like, subscribe. Love and light. Happy New Year. See you guys. Bye.